Hey, and good morning, everyone. Good Sunday morning here. Welcome to the Weather Nerds YouTube update here on the page as to get you ready for your Sunday. Watching the big storm now finally clearing out of Florida, but now starting to move up toward the mid-Atlantic, and it's going to be a very heavy rain event, very windy day as this storm system continues to track off to the north and east. And we're going to kind of give you all the updates here from the overnight model runs and kind of get you ready. The folks in the Northeast, we've been talking about this for a few days, so I hope you are preparing for this big storm that is coming up your way here in the next 24 hours. Let's look at the satellite imagery from this morning as we're starting to see the storm system get its act together here. Looking pretty impressive there, really. You're seeing some pretty good blow up of thunderstorms there's a little lightning here. I'll show you here in a second, just offshore as the low pressure system. The center is actually sitting right down in here. So this is kind of blowing out ahead of it as it's going to continue to track up the eastern seaboard here. And with some additional energy coming its way in the form of some cold air, some jet energy, it's going to strengthen a bit. And again, it's going to be quite a windstorm to say the least as it heads up the eastern seaboard. Now, the severe threat is pretty much diminishing across Florida here for the moment. What's going to be watching for today is going to be right along the coastal areas. There you see that very slight risk. It's a sliver, to say the least, right there along the coastal areas of South Carolina, North Carolina. One of those things where you couldn't rule out a water spout coming in, but just some very heavy winds with some of the thunderstorms along the coastal areas that could cause some problems later today. Right now, there's no official watches or warnings out right now for that kind of weather, but we do have a lot of watches up and some flood warnings going on currently. I'll show you that here for this morning. Look at the watches as I've been talking about this the last couple of days as the watches extend all the way down. I mean, that's a pretty good swath there, folks. So we're talking from Maine all the way down into Florida. I mean, the entire East Coast getting inundated with the heavy rain threats here. You're talking, some areas getting 3+ inches of rain in a very quick amount of time. So it is going to be one of those days where you just want to just stay inside, maybe watch a little football here, and just take it easy. And if you're in flood-prone areas, watch it. Be careful. And if you don't cross any flooded roads, please. That's probably the worst thing you can do. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the close-up the radar imagery here. As you can see, the storm kind of wrapping itself up. The yellows and oranges there, that's the heavier rainfall amounts. You can see it stretching from Augusta over toward Columbia, heading over toward Myrtle Beach, Jacksonville Beach, down to Savannah. The heavy rain's finally starting to pull out of the Jacksonville area as things will begin to improve there, but it's pretty stormy right along the coast. And I'll show you a few of the cameras there along the coast here in a second, just to kind of illustrate that point here. Again, there is some thunderstorms in this. We can take a closer look at the level 2 data here in Savannah. You see the lightning strikes there offshore. So that's something to watch as that continues to move up toward the north there. So areas, say, near Charleston, if this kind of continues up this way, could see some thunderstorms with this as this comes on in. And with those thunderstorms, obviously the potential for some gustier winds right along the coast. Of course, that's where that severe weather area was kind of where I was showing you. That's where it's kind of heading. So again, we're going to watch that closely here throughout the day. A little bit further up the coast, you can see the rotation of the low pressure system so clear on this image for sure. As you can see the kind of moisture flow kind of coming in and going around that area of low pressure, so that onshore flow, probably some rough surge in there. It's kind of low tide down there now. It's just kind of looking at the beach cameras there, and they look like it's kind of low tide right now. But as the tide comes up with that onshore flow, that's some beach erosion will definitely be a problem here for today. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest model data. This is going to be the European data here. We're going to step you through this here as I take you through the storm system here. Let me go ahead and get into my interactive mode so I can step you through this, as well as get my projection here up so I can do some telestrating. I always gotta like to do that. All right, so this right here is for around 2 o'clock this afternoon. So you're seeing a 991 low pressure system getting pretty just south of Savannah, probably near Tybee Island, right in there. So as I go ahead and step you through here to late in the day, you see it's just off the Charleston coastline there on South Carolina. 984. I am noticing a little bit of separation here here in the last few model runs, where the low is kind of hanging back from the main activity, kind of racing out in front of it a little bit. So that may mean the storm's not going to get as strong as what's advertised here. And that was the one change I wanted to highlight to you here for the overnight hours. So still a very potent low system. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to be quite a system. So this is for Monday morning. As you can see, some very heavy conditions here along New England in here, right from Maine all the way down toward Pennsylvania. Again, the center of the low is going to charge up this way. You see the cold air on the backside of this. This will be swinging in behind the low pressure, so there'll be a brief cool down for the northeast as this moves on into areas of New England with that colder air mass coming in. Even the southeast will get on this. So there it goes. So it drops down to about 980 millibars. So that's a little bit weaker than what it was showing yesterday. We were in like the 977 range, so it's a little bit weaker, but it's still a pretty strong area of low pressure. Still plenty of wind. Still a lot of flooding rain. Still something to not to take too lightly as this races up into areas of Canada. So by Tuesday morning, it's going to be quite cold here along the eastern portion of the United States. You got this nice little dip here with this cold air. So you got some snows in here across the areas of the Great Lakes down to the Appalachians, a little bit of upslope snow there. And this is going to be short-lived as this is going to kind of flatten out and pull on out. And really looking at a fairly quiet week ahead. I'll just take you ahead here just to kind of show you. You got a little weak system toward the middle of the week, but otherwise the week ahead after this storm system goes by will be relatively quiet, looking pretty good there. Now, I did mention this yesterday. Well, actually, let me do this first before I get too far ahead of myself. Let's do this first. I do want to show this update here on the rainfall totals. Once again, this has not really changed all that much. This has been very consistent with the models going here for days. But again, a very sharp dividing line on who gets the rain and who doesn't. And 3 to 4 inches of rain on that red, and those yellows are getting 4 inches plus right up through here. Again, flooding rains all across there. That's why you got those flood watches up from Maine all the way down toward Florida. It's not only the amount of rain, it's how quickly it is falling as it moves across that area. So the flash flooding is possible. Those low-lying areas that typically flood, just stay clear of them, all the way from Maine down toward Florida. As that's probably been the most consistent thing with the models has been the actual rainfall, which has been very impressive to say the least. All right, the other part of the equation here that we've been talking about here over the last few days is going to be the flight delays. That's another big problem. Coming into today, there may be some delays across Charlotte and Raleigh-Durham, but the Northeast especially, even though the low does appear to be a little bit weaker than what the previous models were coming, still, but a 980 low pressure system is not bad. It's still strong low pressure. A lot of wind with this, a lot of heavy rains, flight delays for areas from Philadelphia, JFK, LaGuardia, Logan, BWI, Dulles National. That corridor right in there is going to be impacted significantly with some sort of delays and cancellations that would not surprise me. Now, I know the airline's going to do their best to kind of work around that, but obviously they don't want to cascade into a week away from Christmas, because when you get those people backlogged, they got to get them out somehow, some way, and that could cause some problems. So watch the delays, especially here for tomorrow. Hey, let's before we wrap things up, let's take a look at some of the imagery going on out there right now for this morning as we take a look at Jacksonville Beach. Again, the low tide right now, it's good. Yeah, the surf's up. I see the surfers out there. The winds are definitely kicking up the surf, and you can see that for sure there along Jacksonville Beach. Heading up toward Myrtle Beach this morning, you can see again the surf's up there as well. So as advertised, some coastal erosion not out of the question today with a heavy surf up and down the eastern seaboard, thanks to this area of low pressure and some very windy conditions off the east coast. Going up a little further, this area is fairly quiet right now, but it's going to be going downhill later today. This is the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Late today and into tonight, that's where that area will be looking. Right now, it's not looking too bad up in the Outer Banks, looking pretty good there. And further down the beach, down towards Sunset Beach, North Carolina, things going downhill a little bit there. Again, low tide this morning. That's kind of good, but that surf will be kind of making its way up toward those dunes a little bit later today. All right, let's go back to the big imagery, the big picture once again here to kind of wrap things up. As you can see, the storm is getting cranking, moving up toward the north. It's going to be just a day to stay inside from the Carolinas, especially to the eastern portions of these states, up toward Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and to New York, and all those other northeastern states heading into tomorrow morning. So again, secure anything that may get blown around if you're up in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, especially along the coastal areas. Make sure you secure trash cans, Christmas decorations, things like that that can become projectiles, called damage to your house, your neighbor's house. Make sure you do that kind of thing. If you're new here, you're checking in here this morning for this report. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to my channel. These live updates will get better as I get a bigger audience, and that'll take some time. So if you just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up or comment. I'm going to put the weather wheel back up for later today. I got to go down and take care of some business. I'll do another update later this afternoon. The weather wheel seems to be pretty popular, getting a lot of hits there on that. So I'll put that up to kind of keep you. You can always come back and check and see where the radar is and where the watches and stuff are, and the imagery. I'll leave that going throughout the day. All right, I'll have another update for you probably late this afternoon. Until then, you guys take it easy and be safe out there as we track this big storm heading up the eastern seaboard. Till then, you guys have a good morning and a good Sunday, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.